Welcome, folks, to this Monday, December 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Harpswell Board of Appeals. We have, on our agenda, we have a request for reconsideration on an administrative appeal by Laura and Robert Castor, and we'll be considering minutes of our previous meeting from November 27th. Members of the board, starting from my left, are David Zemnorowski. I'm Ned Simmons, chair of the board. To my right is Pat Lawson. I'm not going to bother going into our normal procedure because we're not starting with our normal procedure. Did you folks have a chance to review the procedure letter that we sent to the casters for how this reconsideration process works? Okay, well, I'll read it quickly. The procedure, this is from the town's attorney, or actually our previous town's attorney, not the current one. The procedures for reconsideration are as follows. When a request for reconsideration is filed, the board should consider it at its next meeting. The first question for the board is whether the request for consideration was timely filed. If the board determines that the request for consideration was not timely, it need not do anything further with the request. And I guess for the sake of efficiency, I think we can specify that it was a timely request for reconsideration. It says, even if the board finds that the reconsideration request is timely, the board does not have to take action on a request for reconsideration and does not have to make a motion to grant or deny a request for reconsideration. Reconsideration lies within the sole discretion of the board and is not mandatory. If the board does not take any action on a request for reconsideration, then the original decision is final and subject to the 45-day appeal period established by 30A MRSA, blah, blah. In order to take action on a reconsideration request, a board member who voted in the majority, which would be the three of us, must make the motion to reconsider. Any member may second or vote on the motion, regardless of how that person voted on the original decision. Only board members who participated in the original decision may participate in any action on a reconsideration request. If the majority of the board votes to reconsider, the matter is taken back to where it was just before the original vote occurred. The board may then determine whether it wishes to accept additional evidence and reopen the public comment portion of the hearing or simply to deliberate on the matter. I don't think the rest of it is really applicable at this point. So really, all we need to do now is see if any of us three wishes to make a motion to reconsider. I mean, I think we can have a brief discussion if you want, but I think, as I recall, the last time we did this, we were warned off of discussing any of the merits of the case. It was really just the merits of the reasons for reconsideration, not the actual appeal.
Right, we did have some discussion so that the people here could be heard, but it was not a really.
I think she warned us off even from doing that. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe we could hear, if you want, we don't need to. I guess we don't need to do anything.
Right.
We could adjourn right now. We could agree to hear the arguments for reconsideration, but on the other hand, we have a written statement from the applicant. I mean, do you want to hear from the?
Not really. I want to make sure that these folks who have been asked to speak on behalf of the applicant have received a copy of the December 2nd email.
The casters did not forward you the information that they received?
Let's see, she sent me an email basically with a letter asking me if I could be here because there's, they had a 16-hour trip last week to be here for the
I'm personally not inclined.
I'm
to
personally not
make
inclined
a
either.
motion. I think we've heard all the arguments and the latest, the latest,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, sure.
Is it 40 days or 45 days? I mean,
Why don't you step to the microphone? Well, this is regarding an appeal to Superior
well,
Court.
just,
Why don't we hold the questions until, we can
I guess
answer?
I don't know. I'm confused about the fact that, when we were leaving the last time, you told me that we could appeal.
You can appeal to Superior
Oh,
Court.
okay.
Why don't you, I mean, if you have a question, why don't you step up there, but.
Well, I guess the question I have is how many days? Because when Margaret notified, is that working? When Margaret notified Laura that we had missed the deadline, she said it was 42 days, and
The deadline is 40 days.
and she said we were 2 days late.
Right.
But if you look at when that 42 days started, it comes back to September 5th, not September 3rd, which is when the building permit was issued. September 5th is when he should have posted the building permit. The building permit wasn't posted until the day we met on November 27th.
Now, I mean, I made a little calendar here. The permit was issued on the 3rd.
Yeah,
The 40th day would have been
the 14th.
the 13th, October 13th. And the appeal was filed on the 21st.
Well, I have, maybe Margaret was off a day. Her email dated the 16th said that that was day 42, which would have made day 1 the 5th, which is the day that the permit should have been posted.
Okay.
And again, it never got posted until the day we came here on the 27th.
Yep, I understand.
And, to me, that kind of says that the intent is that people should be able to know about it. And, I go by that property twice a day, every day, with very few exceptions. And he has surveillance equipment that would show me doing that.
Okay.
And I guess that doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess
Yes, we're done.
It,
Can I ask another question?
why don't we take care of this first, and then we'll entertain questions? I mean, unless you have a question, Pat?
I don't have a question. I'm just trying to verify that the dates haven't changed from our original.
No, I mean, well, here's what I came up with for dates. Permit was issued on the September 3rd. What we heard at the last meeting was around September, actually, no, this is from an email that was in the file. There was an email in the file that the neighbors noticed cutting in the pool on September 20th, which would have been 17 days after the issuance of the permit. The casters in their appeal said that they had filed appeal within 30 days of noticing the activity on the property. That would have been the 21st of September. And I think it said less than 30 days, but 30 days would have been the 21st of September. Was also in an email that Tim informed Ms. Samay that there was a permit on September 27th. That was 24 days after the permit was issued and 16 days before the deadline. October 13th was the 40th day, the last day to appeal. 2 days after that, 42 days, the casters emailed That was the first email I saw in the file between the casters and the town. On the next day, Margaret replied, and gave them the information on where to find the appeals process. And the appeal was filed almost a week after that. Took another week before they actually sent in the formal appeal. So I think that's the summary of the timeline. I just don't find,
Can I say something?
no, not yet.
That's not accurate as far as,
No, it's what we have in the record. No motion?
To reconsider?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm not prepared to offer a motion either. I mean, that's really the end of it. The next step is an appeal to Superior Court, which has to be taken within, well, you should check with an attorney on that, but it should be, it's within 45 days of the decision, that with our previous decision, 45 days from the previous, and I think there may actually be an extension after this, but I'm not sure exactly how that works. The fact that you've reconsidered, I think may actually give you a couple extra days. Here it is. The statute imposes a deadline of 45 days to reconsider and to complete action on the reconsideration. The statute does not allow for an extension of 45-day period. Yeah, here we go. If the board does not vote to reconsider, the normal 45-day time period to appeal to Superior Court is extended until 15 days after the action on the reconsideration. So you would get, the way I read this, you would get either the greater of 45 days from our last meeting or 15 days from this meeting to go to make an appeal to Superior Court. But that would be, I don't believe you could do that. That would be the casters would have to make the appeal. But again, I don't want to give you legal advice. You really, if you intend to do that, you really should get the advice of an attorney. Okay? I mean, can we answer any questions, or?
yeah, do you want me to go?
Yes, please.
I guess I don't understand why the burden is on us, and I know.
It's just, it's the way the legislature in their wisdom has arranged everything, and then when a lot of this is based on court decisions and so on.
Yeah, but when the permit was issued, there was false information about the size of the disturbance on the land. And I mean,
Right.
doesn't the town have any responsibility to, why isn't that permit, why wasn't it voided, or why didn't that go back to check for the stormwater? I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, what's been disturbed on that site, it's, there's not been one geological study done, and if the building application had been filled out correctly, there would have been. But I just,
I don't disagree with you on
I
that,
just
but
don't-
our hands are tied. We have to follow what's laid out in the statute and what the courts have imposed on us. That's,
well, just, I don't know. it
you
just
know,
seems-
and it may be, you may well find that a court has more discretion than we do.
Yeah, but the attorney I talked to, it's gonna be a year before they do anything, so it's,
No.
what's the point? Really,
Blasting started today.
yeah, they're already blowing the place up. And,
Was there a permit?
they got the blast permit last week. However, something else did come up, so maybe as far as at the planning board, one of the members of the planning board asked the blast, whoever's doing the blasting, asked him, to confirm that they were trucking the debris off-site. And he said he didn't know, he had nothing to do with it. And basically there was, I think Margaret said there were just rumors that they were going to dispose of it on site. And there's, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
there's no permit.
This is why we can't go any further.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just,
we can't address any of that.
yep. I mean, there are, there are specific rules and procedures, and we have to follow them.
No, I know, I understand that, it's just that, it's
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean,
it's
I
just if this can happen, I mean, you're talking about Wally Staples, they don't know that they need a stormwater, they don't know that they need, to post the building permit, and they don't know that they need to put the right amount of land that's gonna be disturbed. It just doesn't, it just, I don't know, it just seems fishy. But I appreciate what you guys do.
I wish we could make everybody happy.
You can understand how unpopular we are, really.
Yeah, this is not a stepping stone
Well, it's just,
to popularity.
Yeah. And
Look,
many,
stepping stone to president of the United
right.
States.
and
You
many
never know
people
about that.
have come here and said, well, can't you just use common sense? No.
No.
Unfortunately, that's not how this has to work.
I think I've quoted this before, but I don't know if you know who Billy Bragg is. He's a communist folk singer. And in one of his songs, I think he's actually quoting a Supreme Court justice. He said, "This isn't a court of justice, this is a court of law." He's been arrested for vagrancy or something, and, and the judge admonishes him, says, "Young man, this isn't a court of justice, this is a court of law." And that's,
You gotta follow the written
yeah,
law.
I mean, we've signed an oath to follow the law.
We certainly appreciate all you folks have put your time and effort into. Let there be no doubt about that. We have been in contact with the DEP, and they're coming
Yeah.
up, okay.
You may
we got
have-
a bit of a runaround there too,
Yeah.
where we just like, oh, the original person we contacted, I really don't deal with vernal pools and whatever, you need this person, and
Yeah.
that person just responded to us last Friday. So they will be there, but just so we're on the record, blasting started today, there were 3 blasts. And we will continue our pursuit.
Okay. All right, I don't
Thanks
think
for
there's much
coming.
more we can do for you, I'm afraid. Okay?
Appreciate your time tonight.
Yep.
Here it is, the holidays again.
We managed to get it in there.
ruin Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Uh,
Mary, did you guys vote on that?
We don't,
No.
No.
we made no motion, there's no vote.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed something.
Yep, no,
Thanks, Bart.
I'll talk to you later.
No, you want me to wait? I just had a question, if you ever found out that they applied for a permit,
Not that I know of, but I wasn't at work today, and, I left a note for Tim to call Turtle Out Excavation, and I don't know what happened, so I won't know till next week.
okay.
But, yeah, that's all I
So
know.
I'll call you? You want me to?
Yeah, you can
you
call
want
the
me-
office, Denise will know the answer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, she'll be here.
sounds good, thank you.
all right.
Merry Christmas. Have a nice week,
Yeah,
have a
thank
nice
you.
week off.
Do you have a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yep.
The minutes, I didn't get through, but
When it comes to the minutes from last meeting, I didn't write down what time we adjourned. So it was just an estimation.
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly sure.
That's, I think that's pretty close.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
Move to approve.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
Well, go ahead and finish, Pat.
No.
Okay,
No discussion?
no discussion.
All in favor? We approve the minutes unanimously. Any other business?
Move to adjourn?
We're adjourned at 6:50.